The island was no longer a solitary struggle. What began as a solo survival challenge had transformed, almost overnight, into a communal effort. The arrival of new faces first, the eager but inexperienced Big Head, and then the remarkably skilled local girl, Bella had irrevocably shifted the dynamic. The quiet, grueling focus of a lone survivor was now replaced by the bustling, coordinated chaos of a small team. Their collective will bent on a single goal: to thrive, not just survive. The crackle of the newly built stone oven and the rich aroma of roasting wild boar were testaments to this new era. This was no longer just about enduring the elements. It was about building a life, one ingenious invention and shared meal at a time. The catalyst for this change was simple: more mouths to feed. Brothers, more people are eating breakfast now, the narrator, Shin, had noted, prompting a nocturnal construction spree that resulted in a sturdy, handmade oven. This wasn't just a convenience, it was a cornerstone of their new community. The first major test of this new asset was a young wild boar, a prized catch from the previous day. As the stones glowed with intense heat after 2 hours of firing, the decision was made. We might as well eat it directly. What could be better? Shin reasoned, sealing the fate of the boar and the beginning of their first group feast. The careful process of sealing the oven, ensuring the heat was just right to avoid burning, was a ritual that marked their progress from foragers to cultivators of their own comfort. While Shin managed the feast, Big Head and Bella proved they were far from idle. In the island's northern interior, they made a significant discovery: a bamboo forest. The recent rains had coaxed a bounty of fresh bamboo shoots from the earth, a find Shin hailed as a major discovery for us. These shoots were more than just a lucky find. They were a renewable resource, a source of vital vitamins, and a potential staple carbohydrate. Under Bella's guidance, they learned the process of harvesting, blanching, and drying the tender inner parts of the shoots for long-term storage. This was their first lesson in sustainable living from a local expert, a move away from day-to-day scavenging toward thoughtful provisioning. Bella's value exploded beyond foraging. Her ability to shimmy up a coconut tree with effortless grace left the men in awe. "I truly never expected Bella to know how to climb trees," Shin admitted, a sentiment echoed by Big Head's stunned praise. This wasn't a mere party trick, it was a fundamental survival skill. Bella represented a deep, innate connection to the natural world that the city dwellers lacked. Perhaps the locals, whether boys or girls, learned to dive and climb trees from childhood, Shin mused. For them, these are the most basic and simple things. Her competence forced a re-evaluation of their entire approach, proving that on this island, traditional strength was often outmatched by practiced skill. With 4 people, including the cameraman, to feed, efficiency became paramount. The calm seas around the island presented an opportunity they were quick to seize. "We urgently need to build a small boat to get out to the open sea and catch bigger fish," Shin declared. This was their most ambitious project yet. Big Head took the lead, scavenging foam and sugarcane to construct a deck and frame. With Bella's adept assistance, the skeleton of the vessel took shape in under 2 hours. The goal was not to cross oceans, but to reliably reach the deeper waters beyond the reef, where larger fish promised greater rewards. This collaborative effort signaled a new level of trust and specialization within the group. This division of labor allowed Shin to focus on other critical tasks. While the boat builders worked, he turned his attention to the 4 wild boar traps they had built days earlier. He identified flaws they needed to be reinforced and heightened to ensure the next pig that wandered in wouldn't escape. As of now, it already has the capability to catch a boar weighing dozens of pounds, he assessed, his hope resting on a combination of improved engineering and plain luck. He also took time to repair his trusty fishing spear, a reminder that he would never place all his hopes on a single, unproven venture like the boat. Diversification was their key to resilience. The boat, a testament to their collective ingenuity, was soon completed. Big Head proudly showed off its features: a fish basket for the catch, a solid deck, an anchor, and a specially designed slot for an oar. "Its functions are quite numerous," he beamed. The approval was mutual. "Not bad, Big Head. You're becoming self-reliant on this island," Shin commended, acknowledging his companion's growth. With this new tool, they could now divide their efforts strategically. "You two take the boat out to sea," Shin directed Big Head and Bella. "I'll go diving." The team was learning to leverage their individual strengths for the collective good, a sign that their makeshift family was starting to function like a well-oiled machine, poised to conquer the challenges of their island home. The turquoise waters surrounding the island were a deceptive veil, hiding a world of immense challenge and even greater reward. For Shin, the ocean was not just a source of food, it was a vast, three-dimensional hunting ground that demanded respect, patience, and a deep understanding of its secrets. His newly upgraded spear gun was more than a tool, it was an extension of his will, a carefully crafted answer to the limitations of his original spear. Finding food here isn't all about luck, he reflected, descending into the serene blue silence. It requires enough experience. If you know which locations might be hiding food, the whole process becomes much easier. This knowledge, hard-won through countless hours of observation, was the key that unlocked the ocean's pantry. His confidence, however, was immediately tested. The first significant encounter was with a large octopus, its powerful limbs tucked securely within a rocky crevice. The creature was a prize, but its position made a clean shot impossible with the spear gun. Shin could only watch in frustration as it retreated deeper into its sanctuary. Generally, when I face octopuses, I use a spear if I can, and won't catch them by hand, he noted, a rule born of respect for the animal's formidable strength underwater. This initial failure was a humbling reminder that the ocean dictated the terms of every engagement. Yet, persistence paid off. Soon, he managed to harvest 2 smaller octopuses, their ink clouds a fleeting testament to their capture. The true jackpot, however, lay hidden in a small cave, a cluster of lobsters, 2 large and 1 small, perhaps a family. Shin took careful aim. The rubber band of his spear gun pulled taut. He fired at the largest one, a direct hit, but victory was tempered by discovery. This is a soft-shell lobster, he realized upon retrieval, its fragile carapace damaged by the impact. The 2 remaining lobsters were too small, and he made a conscious decision to leave them behind, a small act of conservation ensuring future harvests. This moment highlighted a developing ethos. Take what is needed, but never more, and always with an eye towards sustainability. Meanwhile, Bella was demonstrating a completely different, yet equally effective approach to underwater hunting. The spear gun, an unfamiliar and cumbersome tool in her hands, was quickly abandoned. In the end, she simply threw the spear to the cameraman and chose to find food with her bare hands. Shin observed, this was her element. Having grown up by the sea, Bella had been diving for shells and catching lobsters since she was very young. Her technique was a marvel of efficiency and fearlessness. She would spot a lobster hiding in a rock crevice, and before it could fully register the danger, her hands would dart in, seizing it by the 2 slender antennae on its head. The toughness of these 2 thin tentacles in the middle of the lobster is very strong, not easy to break, she later explained. This specific knowledge, passed down through generations, allowed her to secure the struggling crustacean with an effortless grace that Shin's mechanical tools could never match. Their diving styles were a study in contrasts. Shin, the methodical technician, relied on upgraded equipment and strategic positioning. Bella, the natural, moved with an intuitive understanding of marine life, her body flowing through the water as if born to it. Her success was a powerful lesson in the value of indigenous knowledge. While Shin was trying to conquer the environment with innovation, Bella worked in harmony with it. Her skills a product of a lifelong dialogue with the sea. This duality became their greatest strength, allowing them to target a wider range of prey. The island's generosity extended beyond mobile creatures. Dotting the seabed were giant clams, each weighing 5 or 6 pounds. Pulling one from its resting place was a test of strength, and their massive size spoke volumes about the ecosystem. They can grow this big, which also indicates 2 things, Shin analyzed. First, there are no other marine creatures around that can pose a danger to them. Second, no fishermen come here to harvest. These clams were living proof of the pristine, untouched nature of their waters, a sanctuary they were now privileged to inhabit. As the sun began its descent, the team regrouped on the beach, their combined efforts resulting in an impressive spread. Brothers, today's harvest is very plentiful, Shin announced, the satisfaction evident in his voice. The fruits of their labor were laid out before them, a variety of fish, 2 octopuses, Bella's lobster, and the massive clams. It's different with more people going out to sea, he remarked, underscoring the power of their collaboration. The bounty was so great that immediate preservation was necessary. They decided to render sea salt to cure the excess fish, a crucial technique to prevent waste and build a food reserve for leaner days. This simple act of salting the catch was a profound step forward, transforming them from hunters living hand to mouth into planners securing their future. The day culminated in a communal feast around the fire, the centerpiece being the perfectly roasted wild boar from the stone oven. It's roasted excellently, crispy on the outside and tender on the inside, Shin said, offering a choice piece to Bella. Today, we owe it to you. As they toasted with coconut shells to their success, the mood was one of shared accomplishment. The initial worry about the pressure of supporting more people had melted away, replaced by a newfound sense of ease and capability. Now it seems it's actually become more relaxed, Shin reflected, watching his companions. The ocean, once a formidable challenge, had yielded its treasures, proving that their strength was not just in their individual skills, but in their ability to unite them against the wilderness. Dawn on the island no longer meant a solitary scramble for survival, but the start of a well-orchestrated day built on shared knowledge and trust. The morning's catch, a large octopus hauled from a fish trap, sizzled over the coals, its simple, savory aroma a testament to the systems they were now building. "This is one of my favorite foods on the island," Shin remarked, enjoying the tender meat that required no seasoning. "Because you don't need any seasonings to grill a delicious flavor." This meal was more than sustenance. It was a quiet celebration of the small, stable routines that were slowly weaving the fabric of a life here. Slowly, they were cultivating not just a campsite, but a home, a place where the frantic edge of hunger had been softened by skill and cooperation. This stability freed them to think beyond their next meal, to invest in the future. With the immediate pressure of hunger alleviated, Shin turned his focus to a persistent problem, the limited range of his spearfishing. "The attack range of my spear is very short," he explained, frustrated by the swift, free-swimming fish that always stayed just out of reach. His response was a new project, a proper spear gun. This was not a simple spear, but a complex tool crafted from bamboo, wood, rubber bands, rope, nails, and fishing line. He demonstrated its mechanism, showing how additional rubber bands could be added for more power and distance. The test fire at a coconut sent the spear flying with satisfying force, a promising sign for their next dive. This relentless innovation was the hallmark of their approach, constantly refining their tools to master their environment. While Shin tinkered with his invention, Bella was conducting a masterclass in indigenous survival. She and Big Head were not idle, they were weaving. Using abundant coconut leaves, Bella demonstrated how to craft a traditional backpack. Locals often use coconut leaves to weave various things, Shin noted, watching her skilled hands at work. The backpack Bella weaves is one of them. Its purpose was practical, to carry wild chickens or other foraged goods. But the lesson was profound. They were no longer just taking from the island, they were learning its language, using its materials in the ways generations of locals had perfected. For us, learning various crafts that use natural materials is crucial, Shin stated, recognizing that these skills would be their most valuable asset in the challenges to come. The most immediate application of this knowledge transfer was in hunting. Bella, with her deep understanding of the local fauna, led Big Head to open areas teeming with wild chickens. Here, she taught him how to construct a different kind of trap. "The principle of the wild chicken trap is basically the same," Shin observed. "They all use bait to make the wild chicken trigger the snare, so we can harvest it." Under her tutelage, Big Head was a quick study. In less than an hour, they had set 6 such traps across the island. This was a strategic expansion of their food sources, moving beyond the sea to harness the land's bounty with time-tested, efficient methods. The division of labor was now seamless. While the trappers worked, Shin made his daily rounds, checking the large wild boar trap. He discovered the coconut meat bait had been completely eaten, with clear signs of chewing. It could be a wild boar, or it could be a coconut crab, he mused, a detective piecing together clues. Finding the trap empty was a disappointment. It seems we can't count on it today, but not a defeat. It was simply part of the island's rhythm, a reminder that success was never guaranteed. This daily inspection was a non-negotiable ritual, a commitment to following through on every opportunity. Later, as Shin continued to refine his spear gun, Big Head proudly displayed the finished backpack. "Look at this backpack Big Head and I weaved. How is it?" he asked, beaming. "Not bad. Pretty good," Shin affirmed. This moment was significant. Big Head was no longer just a helper, he was a student, actively acquiring the skills that would make him truly self-sufficient. This growth empowered Shin to delegate. "With so many fish traps today, it's inconvenient for me to go into the sea alone," he said, outlining the new plan. "Then I'll go with you," Big Head offered eagerly, but Shin had a better configuration, one that played to their strengths. "You should rest. Bella will go with me." Big Head was assigned a task on land, a clear sign of a team operating with purpose and understanding. As Shin and Bella prepared the boat for another dive, Shin shared a piece of meta-commentary with their unseen audience. "By the way, brothers, have you noticed my video quality has become clearer recently?" he asked. "Actually, I changed to a new phone for filming." It was a brief, almost intimate glimpse into the effort behind the scenes. A reminder that their survival story was also a crafted narrative, one they were committed to improving. This attention to detail, from the clarity of the video to the efficiency of their hunting parties, showed they were thinking on multiple levels, striving for excellence in both their survival and their storytelling. Pushing the boat into the surf, Shin turned to Bella. "Let's go out to sea and find some big catches." The statement was filled with a new, collective confidence. The island's rhythm was no longer a mystery to be feared, but a pattern to be learned and exploited. They were no longer just surviving the island. They were learning to dance to its tune, with Bella leading the steps and everyone else learning to follow. The air on the island had shifted, charged with a new, urgent energy. The knowledge that their time was limited, that visas were expiring, and the outside world was calling them back, lent a sharp focus to their final days. This was no longer just about daily survival. It was a race to prove their complete mastery over the environment, to culminate their journey with undeniable success. For Big Head, this pressure manifested as a burning need to step out from under Shin's shadow and secure a legacy of his own. "Brother Shin has been useless for days, setting so many coconut baits in the jungle without catching a single large coconut crab," he declared, his voice a mix of frustration and determination. "Today, I'll show you my power." His declaration was more than just bravado. It was the culmination of his entire transformative journey on the island. While Shin and Bella took to the sea for one last dive, Big Head embarked on his personal crusade. He moved deep into the jungle's heart, to a rocky, secluded area he had meticulously prepared. "Today, I'm going deep into the island to set coconut meat," he narrated, his actions deliberate and confident. "I'm determined to catch a few big ones, to amaze Bella." In the island's fading light, he became a hunter, his eyes scanning the shadows. His efforts were swiftly rewarded. "Wow, there's a big one here. You see," he whispered excitedly, his camera capturing a massive coconut crab, its formidable claws slowly dismantling a piece of coconut. It was a colossal specimen, even missing a claw. A veteran of the jungle. "Look at this one, it's not small, right? It's a broken claw." "Good," he exclaimed, his triumph palpable. This wasn't just a catch, it was a validation of his skills and his patience, a trophy that finally cemented his status as a capable survivor, not just a follower. Out at sea, the final dive was a mixed bag. Shin, despite his upgraded spear gun, found his efforts thwarted again and again by swift fish and elusive lobsters. "After many failures, I finally opened for business." He sighed in relief after finally spearing a decent-sized fish. In stark contrast, Bella continued her seamless, almost magical harvest from the sea, effortlessly adding lobsters to their catch. The disparity was humbling. They returned to shore with 3 lobsters and 2 fish, a respectable haul, but one that underscored the fact that the ocean, in the end, always retained an element of mystery and defiance. The true victory, however, was waiting for them at camp. Big Head couldn't contain his excitement as he presented his prizes. "Brother Shin, look what I got," he announced, revealing several large coconut crabs. "You came back just in time," Shin replied, genuinely impressed. The scene that unfolded was the ultimate symbol of their success. A feast of freshly grilled fish and lobster, complemented by the land's bounty of giant crabs. As they ate, Big Head boasted playfully, "Brother Shin caught for several days, none as big as what I caught." It was a moment of light-hearted rivalry, but it spoke volumes about the team's growth. They had diversified their skills to the point where they could now excel in different domains, making the whole group stronger. As the moon rose, casting a silvery path on the calm ocean, an unbelievable spectacle unfolded. "Stop the boat! Stop the boat!" Shin yelled, his voice laced with disbelief. There, swimming powerfully through the dark water, was a wild boar. Why is there a wild boar swimming in the sea? The absurdity of the moment, the ultimate land animal conquering the sea, left them stunned. They scrambled to catch it, but the pig vanished into the inky depths as mysteriously as it had appeared. "It's a pity," Shin muttered, watching the empty water. The encounter felt like the island's final cryptic joke, a reminder that some of its wonders would forever remain just beyond their grasp. The following morning, the mood was somber. Packing their meager belongings, the reality of departure set in. Shin approached Bella, holding out two large, gleaming fish. "Bella, these two fish are for you. Take them to nourish your body," he said, his gesture a tangible token of gratitude for her invaluable help. "Thank you," she replied softly. It was a simple exchange, but it carried the weight of their shared struggle and camaraderie. "We'll be back," Shin promised, a vow whispered to both Bella and the island itself. Their final act was one of profound gratitude. "Lastly, we must sincerely thank the two captains for their great support," Shin said, addressing the camera. That is, Bella's father and uncle. This acknowledgement revealed the silent safety net that had always been there, the local knowledge and watchful eyes that had allowed their adventure to thrive. It was a humble admission that their survival was not a solo act, but a collaborative effort supported by the very community they had briefly joined. As their boat finally pulled away from the shore, the island shrank behind them, no longer a hostile challenge but a cherished memory, a place where they had been forged into a family. The final sunrise on the island broke with a serene golden clarity, illuminating a scene that was both familiar and forever changed. The frantic struggle for survival had melted away, replaced by a quiet, efficient rhythm of departure. As the team packed their few, well-worn possessions, the air was thick, not with fear, but with a profound sense of accomplishment and a tinge of melancholy. Bella, ever the quiet pillar of their little community, was already tending to the fire, grilling the fish for one last shared breakfast. The sight of her there, a constant in their ever-changing island life, underscored the deep bond they had forged. This was not just a campsite they were leaving. It was a home they had built with their own hands, a chapter of their lives written in sand, salt, and solidarity. Shin took a moment to reflect, his gaze sweeping over their makeshift camp, the stone oven, the drying racks, the shelter that had weathered storms. "Looking back at our videos, everyone can see that Big Head and I have lost a lot of weight," he remarked with a faint smile. This physical transformation was the most visible testament to their ordeal, but the deeper change was internal. The journey had stripped them down to their essentials, revealing reserves of resilience and adaptability they never knew they possessed. "After returning home, my plan is to eat well and nourish my body," he continued, "to prepare for a new journey." This statement revealed a man not broken by the wilderness, but refined by it, already looking forward to the next challenge, forever changed by the island's harsh but honest lessons. For Big Head, the transformation was even more dramatic. The inexperienced follower had blossomed into a confident, self-reliant survivor. "Don't shave your beard when we get back," he joked to Shin. "Otherwise, when my dad sees me, he might really call me brother." The laughter that followed was genuine, a release of shared tension and a celebration of their growth. His successful capture of the giant coconut crab stood as his personal trophy, a symbol that he was no longer in anyone's shadow. He had earned his place, not through brute force, but through patience, observation, and the application of hard-won knowledge. The final moments on the beach were a whirlwind of mixed emotions. As they loaded the boat, their movements were practiced, a well-rehearsed dance they had performed countless times. But now, for the last time, they took one long last look at the shoreline, imprinting the image of their home into their memories. The turquoise water, the whispering palms, the rugged cliffs, it was a view they had earned. With the engine sputtering to life, they pushed off from the sand, the island slowly beginning to recede. "We'll be back," Shin had promised, and in that promise lay the unshakable truth that a part of them would always remain on this shore. The journey back was a time for quiet contemplation. The roar of the engine and the spray of the sea were a stark contrast to the island's natural symphony. They watched the silhouette of their island grow smaller, a solitary green jewel in the vast blue expanse. It was a humbling sight. They had not conquered the island. They had simply learned to live with it, to listen to its rhythms and respect its rules. The real victory was not the fish they caught or the shelters they built, but the profound understanding they had gained about nature, about survival, and about themselves. As the mainland finally appeared on the horizon, a new chapter awaited. But they carried the island with them. They carried Bella's lessons in weaving and trapping, the memory of Big Head's triumphant crab hunt, the taste of wood-fire roasted boar, and the feeling of salt on their skin. They carried the unbreakable bond forged in shared hardship, a connection deeper than any they had known in their civilized lives. The island had been the crucible, and they had emerged stronger, more capable, and with a renewed appreciation for the simple, fundamental things in life. To our incredible audience who has followed every step of this journey, we offer our deepest thanks. You watched us struggle, learn, and ultimately succeed. Your support was a constant source of motivation. If our adventure has inspired you, given you a moment of escape, or taught you something new, please honor our journey with a like and subscribe. Your engagement ensures that we can continue to bring you more stories of challenge and discovery from the farthest corners of the world. The island may be behind us, but the spirit of adventure is forever ahead. Thank you for sailing with us.